considering the average teaching day. Now then, I know we've mentioned the vocal demands on the teaching day each and every day. So we're going to take a closer look now at the breakdown of the day and see how those pressures mount up, sometimes before we actually begin to speak. I'd like you to be perfectly honest and keep a tally, keep a record of how many of these factors apply to you. So make a mental note or jot it down. Okay, first thing in the morning. Hot drink, hot coffee or hot tea. So forgetting to sip moisture, sip water first thing on waking and zapping the vocal folds with that hot drink. Warm up, forgetting to do the warm up. How many of you perhaps are so rushed and stressed that you forget to do the vocal warm up and enter a very demanding teaching day without warming up the voice? Rushed or tense breakfast, feeling the tension rising, the shoulders rising and the upper body tension growing before the day even begins. Stressful journey or drive to work, feeling the pressures of the day mounting before you arrive at the school or college gates perhaps. Early morning duty, maybe a playground duty, maybe a pastoral meeting, or maybe you have to take an assembly. So voice pressure before the day begins. So 5 points there. Any of them apply? Voice use throughout the morning, maybe against constant background noise or perhaps in a difficult teaching area where the acoustics are not particularly friendly. Moving from area to area, carrying books, maybe a heavy shoulder bag, which of course is going to fetch the body off alignment and cause tension here in the neck and shoulder area. Coffee break, at break time, hot coffee again, which is drying out the vocal folds, more chatter, more talk, maybe in a very stuffy atmosphere. No break at all. So the voice, if you miss your break, is having no chance to rest. It's continually being used. And continued voice use throughout the morning, moving up to lunchtime now. Sometimes it's necessary perhaps to raise the voice or even that big no-no, shout. So how many of those 10 points apply to your average teaching day? Keep a record. Lunchtime meeting or activity or duty. Again, pressure, teaching morning and then constant use throughout lunchtime. Perhaps a missed lunchtime or continued voice use then in the afternoon when the pupils are lethargic, quite tired, and the teacher's voice has to do more to rally enthusiasm or interest. An after-school club or activity. And remember, this is when the pupils' voices tend to be energetic and boisterous and the teacher's voice is tired and exhausted. So two contrasting voices meeting there. Another tiring or stressful journey home. All the pressures of the day have taken their toll. Lots of work to do in the evening, so you can feel the tension mounting as you're travelling home, and maybe lots of things to do during the course of the evening for the next day too. Arriving home only to have more coffee, alcohol perhaps, well, why not, but it will dry out the vocal folds, maybe spicy food or dairy produce, and not thinking that this may have an adverse on the vocal folds if there's a heavy teaching day the next morning. So the pressures are mounting. Easy to see how they build up. More talk, room to room, perhaps over television or radio or music or family conversation. So again, the voice is not resting. PC work, marking or preparing books. So again, perhaps letting the posture go and hunching over, again creating tension in the shoulder and neck area. Upper body tension, which again creating pressure all the time. More coffee, more alcohol, more chatter. So drying out the vocal folds. What about phone calls? Now, it's very difficult on the phone if it's kept like that and the alignment is, clear and balanced, then the airflow is smooth and the breath is supporting the voice. But if we take the body off alignment and slump on the telephone, then pressure is building up. So phone calls, chatter, the voice isn't resting. And finally, going to bed exhausted and tense, only to wake up the next day to start the whole routine over again. So easily 20 points there. So if you've kept a tally, if you have more than 5 of those, if those 5 apply to you on a regular basis, then do take care. And it's time to really consider, because you are actually in serious danger of harming your vocal well-being.